The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care.
When the lights go low and the real work begins, this is the Busy Baddies.
Where assistants come uncensored, the stories get spicy, and the corporate filter, Control Alt Delete.
I'm Michelle, EA to the CEO of a Fortune 150 company.
And I'm Mel, former C Suite EA turned admin rebel.
And we're here to talk about the real stuff, the stories that never make it to the all hands meeting. Hey, baddies, what's up?
Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Hope you had a good weekend.
Yes.
Another week closer to Thanksgiving, family time.
I can't wait. I feel like I stockpile all my vacation time for this time of year, and I'm like
Yeah.
living for it.
I love
I'm
it.
here for it.
Yes.
But yeah.
So, fun topic today.
Yeah.
We are getting into the art and maybe a burden of having someone's back and, what it actually means when we say we support a leader.
Yes, I have had people ask me this question several times. So, what does an assistant do,
Yeah.
honestly?
Yeah. So it was funny. We had our summer intern event, which we've talked about on the podcast, and at the end of that, one of our interns, who was like so outgoing, and I loved it for her because that could not be me. But she was like, there was I was standing there, and two ladies from our communications team, and we must not have looked like interns.
You didn't look important.
Yeah.
Or you did look important.
Yeah, so she came over there
Yeah.
and introduced herself, and then, was like, "What do you all do?" And, so we went around, and I'm like, "Hi, Michelle. I, support, the CEO." And she's like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, what do you do?" And I was like, "I'm Michelle. I support the CEO." And like, she literally had to say that like 3 times before I was understanding what it was that she was
trying to
asking.
get at.
Yeah, like, okay, I heard you, but break it down for me.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, because I think the word support gets thrown around.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of different ways that you can support a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is like administrative support, but then there's also a strategic support. There's emotional support. There's a lot of different support that we provide.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. In work support, some out of work support.
Yes.
Yeah. All
Support
kinds.
is just being what they need in the moment. So I think that is a good point to start of like, what is the difference between admin support and what is considered strategic support?
Yeah, because I think also when you get into C-suites specifically, I think that admin support, expands to that strategic support. I think that is a very big difference in like the levels of admins.
Yes.
And how it expands as you move up through a company and who you're supporting.
Yes. Yes. Which I think that is something that also drives me insane. Should have been on the pet peeve thing that we just did a few episodes ago, but it is a pet peeve of mine when I work in an organization when titles are titled or misused because
Yes.
there is definitely a hierarchy in this role where, to me, there is still an administrative assistant, maybe even an admin assistant one too.
Yeah.
Then you have an executive assistant who, because we have to have a natural step of progression, right?
Right.
We have to have a career path. So
Wait, what? You can have a career path? Back it up a little.
my ass is gonna have a career path.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you better make it. So it's like you start out as an admin, you kind of get the basic skill set of like what administrative tasks are, things like logistics, organization, calendar
Mhm.
management. To me, that's an administrative assistant.
Yeah. Filing,
Yeah,
typing. Yeah.
the basic
Mhm.
stuff. Then, if you want to elevate yourself, you get into executive assistant, where it's more strategic. You're a thought partner. You're helping them execute things. You're doing things on their behalf. You speak for them.
Mhm.
You communicate on their behalf. It's a different skill set that you're trying to rise to.
Right.
And then, most recently in our world, I have seen thrown around, which I love this title, is executive business partner.
Mhm.
And then to me, I personally, some people may agree out there. If you do, I apologize. Not trying to offend you, but to me,
Or you
the
mean disagree?
yeah,
Disagree.
disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you disagree, apologize. But to me, the top of the top would be chief of staff, and then past that, there's not really anywhere that you go other than off to a different side, left or
Yes.
right.
Right.
So to me, that's where it's very important. Some people say, well, it's just a title. No, it's more than a title because, and we are going to get into this in I think it's a couple episodes of from now, maybe a little bit later this year or next year, where we teach you how to read job descriptions,
Yeah.
because the title, the salary, and the job description need to match. Do you
Uh,
agree?
1,000%.
Yes, because it, to some people, it would be a step back for me to take an admin two position.
Right. Yeah. And that's for any job, not
Yeah,
just admins.
100%.
Obviously, I mean titles matter, or else we wouldn't have them in any company.
Yes, and I think titles, regardless, are associated with respect.
Hmm.
So if I mean, a CEO wouldn't want to be called, the junior president of people. I
Yeah.
mean, what a shit title is that?
Right.
Like, let's be for real. I mean, it's just like, so to me, I think that's where the stark difference is in calling that out and knowing what your value is. Does your title match? Does your salary match?
Right.
Support is different, but it also matters on the title.
Yeah.
But,
Absolutely. No, I agree with that for sure.
yeah. And so, you know, I think too, it's important when we talk about support. Sometimes people try to identify us as just like task doers. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Get coffee.
yeah, you have a list. Like,
Yeah.
oh, schedule this,
Print
do this.
this.
Yeah. And to me, it's so demeaning because we are so far greater than just being task doers. In my mind, we are called force multipliers.
Hmm.
And I grabbed that term from a book that I read, gosh, it's probably been 10 years ago, that Hallie Warner and her leader wrote, called The Founder and the Force Multiplier. And they touch on the power of a strategic partnership between a leader and an executive assistant,
Yeah.
even chief of staff. And to me, it really calls out any leader or any executive assistant out there. I highly recommend that you read this book. Um, but it talks about, just how you are the right hand to whoever it is that you
Hmm.
support,
Yeah.
and how to find value in that, how to be effective, how to, I mean, just impact the business, period.
Yeah, and I think there's a big part of that strategic role as you move up,
Mhm.
where you start to even recognize
Mhm.
what more you could be doing.
Yes.
And I think a lot of it is also you not being told
Mhm.
what to do,
Yeah.
or if you did this, this would really help me. I think a
Mhm.
big piece of our role that is very distinctive outside of just being an admin is that we're recognizing those things. We are finding the strategic situations to
Yeah.
where we can improve what it is they're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that is what a very big difference is, and how you can maybe realize what you are.
Yeah.
What are you just waiting to be told what to do,
Right.
or are you actually finding those improvement and, I'll use the word quality
Right.
improvements,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
are you recognizing where those are and what you can do to improve, make things
Yeah.
faster? And I think that is one of those pieces of the job where that differentiator
Yeah.
kind of comes into play.
Yeah. To me, the differentiator is initiative. As an
Mhm.
admin, I probably didn't take initiative to make suggestions on things that could be better. I just did exactly what was asked of me.
Yeah.
Whereas the longer that I was in the role, when I became an executive assistant and I started supporting CEOs, the initiative was there because I wanted to do more. I
Yeah.
wanted to make more impact.
Yeah.
So I guess what might be helpful is how about we define admin support
Yeah.
and then we'll separately define strategic support.
All right. Okay.
So, in your mind, what are some examples of admin, or maybe even identifiers like qualities that you would say of just admin support?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you have to be personable.
Mhm.
You have to be hospitable.
Mhm.
You are that face of the team, face of the leader, face of the org.
Mhm.
Um, you have to be respectfully a yes, sir, or yes, ma'am
Mhm.
person, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
your people are coming to you with things
Mhm.
they need,
Yep.
and you're going to do them
Yep. Absolutely.
over and over and over and over
Yep.
and over again.
Yep. So you kind of see it as you know, it's support, but it's in a lot of different realms.
Right. Yeah. I mean, scheduling
Mhm.
meetings,
Yeah.
planning an event. Yeah,
Expenses. Yeah.
expense reports,
Yep.
taking notes in the meeting.
Yep.
It obviously today in in work is a lot different than 20 years ago in
Oh,
work.
yeah.
We have a lot more tools that help
Oh,
streamline
yeah.
all of that stuff. An admin has to be very organized.
Yep.
Um, so those are just some of the real quick things that come to my mind, admin specific.
Yeah, I'm gonna date myself here, so just a little funny, batty break here, but speaking of tools and how it's different from 20 years ago, which I was, like, 6 years into the career at that point, but I still remember my first admin job was at an insurance company supporting the medical director, and which that still sounds crazy to me, like, that was my first admin job,
Yeah.
but the
Still
ca
seems like a pretty big
yeah,
role,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but I managed the calendar in a paper spiral bound, like, doctor's offices used to keep.
Yes.
Had to write all of it in pencil, I learned the hard way because things changed,
Yes.
and when he needed to go somewhere, I had to MapQuest and print out directions, like and I
Yes.
think about stuff like that, and it's like,
So there
yeah.
was the internet?
It was very slow, and there
Okay,
was
okay.
that
Yeah.
that noise that it made, but
Yeah.
it was I mean, that is how far it's come to where
Yeah.
now I can literally type something into AI and be like, "Can you create a communication from my leader to this business leader?" And,
Right.
I mean, and it's done in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was handwriting, writing the person's contact name, the number. So it's just funny that you said that because it's like there's some antiquated ways that
Oh,
we
yeah.
used
I
to
mean,
do
I
this.
remember, of always, wanting to work in like a hair salon. I wanted
Yeah.
to be like the receptionist
Yeah.
at the hair salon with that like giant book that
Yeah.
had, like the
Yep.
times in like
Yep.
15-minute
Yep.
increments. And I was just like, Oh my gosh, that would be so cool of a job.
You were born to be an EA.
Yeah. So totally understand that. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's um an admin role to me
Mhm.
is the stereotype of what anybody I think what that comes to mind, getting lunch, getting coffee,
Yeah.
running
Yep.
to the printer, making copies,
Yep.
all of those things.
Yeah. So if you identify a lot with that group of tasks and you say, wow, I'm doing a lot of that, but I want to get to a strategic support where I can maybe advocate for a title change, a pay increase, or some more recognition and take on more things. To me,
Mhm.
that's where the strategic side comes in.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest one that I would call out is prioritization, where you align your leader's time strategically,
Mhm.
again, going back to strategic,
Yes.
with business goals. So that could be something like their work plan, their goal trees, their, customer meetings, board initiatives that they're assigned. Um, and in that, you also become a natural sounding board for
Yes.
them
Yeah.
of
And a strategic partner. Like this that's
absolutely.
where you get pulled
Yep.
in
Yep.
to discussions on the front end
Yes.
and not getting things
After the
after the
fact.
fact. And I
Yeah.
think that is a big distinctive factor
Mhm.
in admin.
Versus strategic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And moving up to that
Yep.
executive assistant.
Agreed. And I think another really big, and we touched on this last week, was spotting risks, reading the room, anticipating issues,
Yes.
being emotionally intelligent enough to, they're in the room doing what they're there to do, and then you are also 9 times out of 10 in that same room, spotting what the risks are, reading how people are receiving what they're saying, you know
Taking action items, knowing
yes,
that you are going to be the one following
yes.
up on the action
Yes, and
items.
influencing the culture. Like my last role, it's a standing joke where we work that wherever my leader was, they always saw me with her.
Mhm.
I always knew if you were in the room, she was here somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what you want. If you want to be strategic, you want to be an extension of them to the point where you are recognizable and they know if that person's in the room,
Yeah.
whoever is getting the shit done is right there with her, like you said,
Yeah.
taking the notes. These are going to be action items. These are going to be this. So in this, I think about prioritization and like aligning the time. And it makes me think of something that you did. So, kind of shifting your leader's week from reactive to strategic or proactive
Yeah.
calendaring.
Yeah.
And you always did something that I picked up on and I thought was fantastic early on when I started at our company. Um, maybe you can speak to how you point out to your leader how she spends
Yeah.
her time.
Yeah. So time is in our role the hottest commodity.
100%.
You know, so if you are not managing your
Mhm.
time correctly, or I should say, if you're not managing your leader's
Leaders,
time
yeah.
correctly,
Yep.
then they are most likely not doing the best
Mhm.
job that they could be and should be doing, right?
Correct. Yep.
So every year, starting obviously in January and timely discussion as we're fast approaching
Yep.
that, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I take and it's nothing fancy, it's an Excel spreadsheet, and I kind of map out based on her work plan,
Mhm.
which now as CEO obviously doesn't change too much. So obviously, when we're changing from role to role, like
Mhm.
that's the biggest
Yeah.
change in this timesheet,
Yeah.
of what does that really mean? Kind of where am I going to be
Mhm.
executing based on the job, whatever. So we literally go through her work plan, and then I translate that by how much time
Mhm.
in each of those work plan categories should she be spending
Yeah.
And we do it based on month.
Mhm.
So, and in a month, let's just say, or in a week, I'm sorry, we say she's going to work 50 hours a week.
Mhm.
And then I break that down into the subcategories. So
Mhm.
obviously, as CEO,
One-on-ones. Yeah. Yep.
one-on-ones, financial targets,
Staff. Yep.
customers,
Yep.
staff, leadership, like
Mhm.
how much time she's putting into future leaders,
Yep.
etc.
Yep.
And so we literally have that broken down of, 12 hours
Mhm.
a week is going to be strategic. We're going to do 8 hours of one-on-ones and so
Yep.
on and so forth.
Yep.
And so at the end of every month, I literally go back
Mhm.
minute by minute and I just kind of tally like,
Mhm.
okay, that belongs in strategy, that belongs in customers. And then at the end of the month, we can literally see
Where she
where
spent
she
every
spent
minute.
her time.
Yeah.
Are we off track?
Yep.
Was there something going on
Mhm.
that had her spending more time in reviews?
Yep.
And usually we can always pinpoint
Yeah.
why some numbers needed
Mhm.
to be off or
Yep.
this, that, and the other thing. And we can very easily, intentionally,
Mhm.
pivot if we need to
Yep.
the following month
Mhm.
and kind of change it. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
ongoing thing. And then quarterly, we kind of evaluate it
Yeah.
and say, gosh, are we missing something?
Mhm.
Are we spending too much time in
Yeah.
this area and not this area? And it really allows us to kind of step back, step out,
Mhm.
and ensure that based on her work plan,
Yeah.
which is what she
Should be spending her time
should
on.
be
Yeah.
spending, it's what she
Yep.
answers to
Yep.
the board for.
Yep.
Is she doing what she's supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And I think that is a a thing or an item that just is not
Mhm.
in the admin realm of just, you
No.
know,
No.
supporting a team and this, like, you're not
Mhm.
doing that kind of work.
No, and I often hear people, especially when they're new, they're starting with a new leader. The question always is, well, how do I know what's important and how do I know what to prioritize? This would be a perfect example of a document that you could use to help you understand, okay, I have 8 one-on-one requests, but I only have so much time to fill in. I also have all these other priorities, and I always tell people, you have to tie back what's important to the work plan
Yeah,
because that's what they're held accountable to,
exactly.
and that is what moves the needle, that's what drives profitability, that's
Right.
what moves the needle. So, you have to have something tangible. You just can't be, you know, Wild West in it out there on the calendar and just
Yeah.
throwing something and hope that
Yeah.
it sticks. Like,
No.
it has to have purpose because
Exactly.
as leaders, they're gonna sit on whatever Zoom meeting you put on their calendar.
Yeah, and for a lot of them,
It's
it's
unconscious, I
yeah,
think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the fact of, most leaders in a company are there because they're incredible
Mhm.
leaders. And so their ability to say no
Yep.
does not exist.
No.
And so it's up to you, the executive assistant, to kind of put that into perspective
Yep.
strategically
Yep.
of here's what you can say no to, and here's what I know you would love to do, but you just don't have
Yeah.
the time at the moment.
Yep.
And kind of build on that because the
Mhm.
biggest aha moments that I receive from other executive
Mhm.
admins that we kind of share this
Yeah.
um practice with is, I tell them what we do, and then they go back and they maybe start looking at
Yeah.
2 months worth. And the, oh my gosh, I knew that he did a lot of one on ones, but I would have
Yep.
never guessed how many.
Yep.
I mean, it's those just things that smack you right in the face that
Yeah.
you can say, and this is not on.
Mm-mm.
This does not tie back to what
No.
you're, doing on your work plan or said that you are going to do. Like
Right.
this is just things
Yeah.
we have to refocus time on.
Yeah, and I think, this is a good call out to you guys out there if you're like, "Wow, that sounds amazing, and I never thought to do something like that." Number 1, I would encourage you, if you really want to blow the socks off the person you're supporting, because all they bitch and complain about is, "I don't have enough time. I'm not
Yes,
getting stuff done that I need to. I'm working
exactly.
on
Yeah.
weekends." Do an
Start,
exercise like
yeah.
this.
Start evaluating
Yes.
their time and
Yes.
where they are spending it.
Yes. And B, if you have questions, you need help setting something up, send an email to the busybaddies@gmail.com. I know Michelle would be happy to help you, give you some insights.
Absolutely.
But yes, I think that is the distinct difference between just being an admin and being a strategic partner, where you are literally helping them hone in on, I need to spend my time here.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting way too in the weeds with one-on-ones and
Yeah.
mentorship. I love doing that, but I can only carve out so much
Right.
time.
No,
Yeah.
and that's very true. And not only that is um there's empowerment
Mhm.
with that because as the executive
Yep.
assistant, I mean, my leader looks to me to be making those
Yes.
calls.
Yes.
It's usually, it's kind of the good cop, bad cop of like, they'll kind of leave it gray,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
oh, I love to do that. It sounds great. But it's always followed with get with Michelle and she'll let you
Yeah.
know when and if and kind of like
Yeah.
let me be the
Yeah.
bad guy, right?
Psychological safety, which
It's
we
like
touched on last week.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Here, Michelle, you carry the weight of that, because that's much easier than me saying I don't have time.
Well, no, and that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
your job.
and that's why we also titled it the art
Yes.
and burden of having someone's
Yes.
back because oftentimes I don't want to use the word scapegoat
Mhm.
because that it's not in that sense of the word, right? Like
No.
our leaders are incredible. They
Mhm.
want, trust me, they want to say
Yes.
yes to everything.
We are often the
True.
ones telling them
Yes.
no. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So although we say that
Yes.
jokingly,
Yes.
it is very much the truth that they would work 100 hours
Yes.
if we could fit 100 hours Monday through Friday, 7 to 5,
It's
right?
our job to save them from themselves.
Yeah. No, and I mean, and that's the whole
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Help me
Help
help
you.
you
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes, because at the end of the year, they're going to look to you and say, "Why did I spend all my time doing
Yeah.
one-on-ones, because now I have all these critical things that I have to get in." Whereas if you're the person who's being methodical, you're thinking about it, you're being strategic, you're
You know when deadlines are going to
yes.
hit, you know when
Yes.
their project stuff
Yes.
is due. Like that is that whole
Invaluable.
yeah, that whole far out thinking
Yep.
is what they're counting on us to do
Yes.
because they're too busy
Mm-mm.
to do it. And
No,
um
that's
you know
job security.
yeah, and I remember we had a new person join the leadership team and we were on one of our first kind of team outings if you will
Mhm.
getting to learn and be around our new
Yep.
team members and I'll never forget this of them stopping me and said, hey, I would really like you to spend some time with my new
Mhm.
admin
Yeah.
because your boss comes so prepared
Mhm.
and ready for anything I've ever been in, with
With them,
them.
yeah.
And I kind of like it. First, it kind of caught me off guard,
Yeah. A
because
compliment? What's that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
to be fair, my first response was, you know what? That's great. But a lot of that is just who my leader is naturally.
Mhm.
You know, they're an engineer, they're good at math and science, very organized. And so some of that are just natural
Yeah.
traits that I just can't take like the credit for.
Yeah.
But there is a part of that I can,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just making sure that they are prepped
Mhm.
accordingly. And I
Yep.
think that is another piece of the
Yes.
strategic partnership that
Mhm.
is different from an admin.
Yes.
And that is a huge part that a lot of people probably don't think about, because going from meeting to meeting to meeting, day
Mhm.
in, day out, your leader has to come in prepared,
Yep.
because they don't have the time to waste. And
Yep.
so I just wanted to kind of throw that in there as a strategic differentiation
Yeah.
of the admin role.
Yeah, so do you fish out pre-read for her and attach it somewhere? Do you have a folder that you put in? Like, I feel like there's 100 ways to skin this cat, but
No, there absolutely is, and a lot of it, I would say I do more intentionally on like the external customer side.
mhm. Yeah.
So if she's going into, a big external meeting with a big customer,
Yeah.
we make it a point that she always has a prep meeting with that account team,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And so that's actually scheduling the meeting,
Yeah.
working with the chief of staff to make sure they know that the meeting is
Right.
coming up. They know who they should be working with to gather. I work very closely with the chief of staff.
Mhm.
So that they're preparing
Mhm.
the, PowerPoint or whatever
Right.
the prep material is coming in the form of, that it's direct, it's not 100 pages, it's
Mhm.
got the most important
Yep.
information that she's going to need, and any of the issues or
Yeah.
whatever is going on with that customer at the time, and making sure that that's done,
Yeah.
because as the leader of a huge company, I mean, she just can't be in everything
No.
and all the details,
No.
and so she's relying on her team
Mhm.
and, the leads of these accounts to really bring her up to speed fast
Yeah.
and with the right information.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of goes ties hand in hand with my last leader. We had a rule set between her, which this is another really important thing. If you want to be strategic, you have to agree on a set of ground rules when it
Yeah.
comes to the calendar.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing for her and I was if pre-read is not received within 24 to 48 hours, it preferably would be 48, but if I still didn't have it within 24 hours, I canceled the meeting.
Mm.
If you don't
Yeah.
have enough respect for the person that you are requesting time with,
Yeah.
then you don't need time on the calendar. And you should have that, I think, even 48 hours before.
Well, yeah, because they're so busy
Yes.
that, you
Mhm.
can't send them a document an hour
No.
before and
No.
think that they're going to have the time to get to it.
No. And it happened all the time and it would become triggering for her because it was like, wow, like I have no time to digest this. Had I had it a couple days before, I could have read it in the evening when I got done with meetings and come more well thought out of what I wanted to approach. But now I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
So her and I just agreed, okay, if pre-read doesn't come within 48 hours, we're going to cancel the meeting.
Yeah.
And most of the time people would be like, "Well, why'd you cancel my meeting?" And I would just simply comment in the cancellation, "Pre-read not received. Please reschedule when you have it
Yeah.
readily available."
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, people would be like, "Oh, well, I have that, I just forgot to send it." "Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I'll get it back on the calendar, but if they didn't send me the pre-read, the meeting got canceled."
Yeah. Well, and, I love it from just the kind of thought of, here is somebody, very high in the company that
Mhm.
anybody would be so
Privileged.
grateful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to have the time with,
Yeah.
and the fact that, the one ask was, to have the pre-read in
Yeah.
48 hours, and
Yeah.
that's so she can help you.
You, right. You need her. It's
Yeah.
not the other way
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that is another it kind of goes back to even psychological safety last week of having the confidence of speaking up and saying, I'm advocating on behalf of my boss because it is really challenging for them, and this is a boundary. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's completely um doable. And so I think, those are the distinctions. I hope they make sense.
Yeah.
If you see I'm doing some strategic stuff or I'm just stuck in admin, I think again, very timely with it being the end of the year, thinking through, you know,
Yeah,
reviews.
your leaders asking, what do you
Yeah.
wanna,
Yep.
strive for? What's your
Yep.
goals? Do you have an aspiration?
Mhm.
I think this is a great opportunity, and not only that, but if you find yourself with an amazing leader that wants to help you grow,
Mhm.
maybe they're willing for you to kind of test
Absolutely.
doing some of these, and the only person that's going to benefit are them.
Right, exactly. Which
Yeah.
which leads to, how do you level up from being
Yeah.
admin to strategic?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Yeah,
obviously one of the biggest,
biggest, yeah.
yeah, is just start practicing this stuff with
Yeah.
the team that you're on now, because I think it's maybe it's fair to
Mhm.
say that I think in most companies out there, you have to be proving that you can do the
Mhm.
work before you're getting the promotion.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Which seems a little crazy, but at the same time, I mean, I understand why companies
Mhm.
probably do this. I mean, it
Yep.
probably helps with, really knowing that you're gonna be able
Mhm.
to do the job. That
Yep.
way, nobody's dealing with, like, "I put you into this role and you're fail,"
Right.
like, I
Right.
just think
Yeah.
there's a little bit more humility in maybe doing it this
Yep.
way, but yeah, start practicing some of this stuff, and, I mean, we know your leader in the team is gonna
Right.
thank you.
Right. And I think asking thought-provoking questions like,
Mhm.
is this the best use of your time?
Yeah.
Are you sure you wanna do
Yeah.
that?
Did you get something out
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
specific meeting? Like, was it helpful for you?
Yeah.
And, um, to kind of go along with that,
Mhm.
like mentorship and
Yep.
all of those things, I think everybody needs to remember that both the mentor and the mentee need to be getting
Yes.
something from,
Yes.
the relationship, because
Yes.
if it's one-sided, it's not going to be fulfilling for
No.
either party. And
No.
I think those folks that even are seeking out a mentor
Mhm.
don't necessarily always think of that, and it's
No.
probably hard thinking, oh well, what's, some C-suite going to learn from me? You'd be surprised.
Yes.
You would be very surprised.
Yes. Yes. And I think a lot of leaders do it because it does fill up their cup, but I think also acknowledging that. And I think, you know, I would even challenge executives, empower your EA to be strategic.
Yeah.
Don't clip their
Yeah.
wings. Don't hold them
Yeah.
back. Like, just if they take initiative, they want to add more to their plate, they want to take on things, don't discourage them. Let them
Yeah.
fail, because failure is where you grow.
No, and I think that there's a lot of leaders out there that probably immediately thought of somebody when you just said that.
Yeah.
I think that talent is very obvious.
Mhm.
When I started at, our place of employment, I was not in an EA role. I actually worked in a team that did training. And so I was at our place, it's a level 3. It actually was called an analyst.
Mhm.
And I was doing, signing people up for training, doing all the training materials. And then I wanted to grow to what was a level 5, and
Mhm.
I said, how about I take the financials, like, let me
Right.
own the AOP,
Yeah.
and let me kind of take that off of your plate and keep track of all of this money we're spending
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. And through my wanting to do all of that stuff, he actually saw what I was doing
Yep.
and got, my job
Yep. Yep.
reclassified, and through that, I'll share this story in another episode, probably in the future. But like, he was a very integral part of where I am now.
Oh, that's great.
And so he believed in me.
Mhm.
He saw that I could do it.
Yep.
And that meant the world to me. And here
Yep.
I am today. So
Yeah, and just sometimes taking that one thing of initiative will breed a fire in your leader to know that you are far greater than what you are being asked to
yeah.
do, and they will help foster growth in you. They will elevate you. They will advocate in rooms that you're not in,
Mm-hmm.
speak on your behalf, um, create positions. I mean, the sky is really the limit. If
Yeah.
you can just show the initiative of saying, like, and I think every admin out there probably wants more credibility, more visibility, a bigger job. So these are just a few
Yeah.
small ways. And if somebody out there who's chief of staff or an executive business partner and you have some shout outs on how to do that, drop them in the comments
Yeah,
below or something.
absolutely.
Like, I would love to hear how everybody thinks about this. But, I just think that, don't stay stuck where you are. There is a career path regardless of what somebody tells you. We all have to start
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it may not it may not be a cookie cutter, it may not be a ladder,
Yeah.
but there's one for everyone.
Yes. And, the reality is you're invaluable to your leader, regardless of if you ever hear that or not. Like, you make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
you make life easy.
We
You
see you,
yes.
we know,
Yes.
so just keep it up and know that, it does matter, and it
Yeah.
is helping and making a lot of people's lives easier.
Yeah. So thinking through like a little fun teaser since we haven't done tea time for a couple weeks.
Mhm.
What if we do like a support showdown
Oh.
where each of us give a funny example of when we were treated like an admin only or when we got to flex on strategic impact
Oh.
and how different the outcome could have been.
Oh, I okay, so I have a story that had me totally feeling like, oh, yeah, I'm just the admin, clearly. So this was when my boss and I were actually moving jobs.
Mhm,
She was on the leadership team of the
mhm.
company at this time. And this was actually a role that I thought we were going to both retire from.
Yeah,
So she had made the dream job
yeah.
and we were in it. We were freaking
Killing
rocking
it.
and
Yeah,
rolling. And I
yeah.
was like, shit, I could do this in my
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah.
Bring it on.
Can we please
For
stay here?
yeah, like I am telling you, like I had never felt more like a damn rock
Confident. Yeah,
star in my
yeah,
life, that I loved the organization, like
yeah.
it was our people, and I was like, "Phew, ride
This
it, just
yeah.
riding it, baby."
Yeah.
So then we got the news that we were moving to a different business. This was actually, when she became it was her first business role.
Yeah.
Eh,
Totally different.
totally
Yeah,
different.
totally different.
And so our old team was, throwing like a goodbye dinner, if you
Yeah,
will,
yeah.
and I was not invited.
No.
Yeah, I was
That's
devastated,
awful.
and I was like, okay, I am just the admin.
Wow.
Clearly, I felt like
Oh,
I was
man.
not part of the team. Like it hurt
Well,
really bad.
yeah.
And that one was really hard to
Yeah,
swallow. I held some grudges.
yeah.
There are still some of those people on that team that I see every once in a while.
You
And
know who you are.
yeah, and I've never really
Yeah,
told anybody that, so
yeah,
they probably don't know who
yeah,
they are.
yeah.
They do now if
Shame on you.
yeah, like
Yes.
I supported this team
Yes.
for, it was like 4 years,
Oh,
and
that's so dismissive.
loved them so
No.
hard, gave so much to this team, mainly because I thought we were going to be in this team for the rest of our work life, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were family to me, and to
Ooh.
not get invited, knowing I was also leaving the team,
Yeah.
it hurt. It
Yeah.
really, really hurt.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I think mine would be, gosh, I've had so many moments. Most recently, I would say, again, this person just did not understand what I did, how I could help them, and simply saw me as the PUD. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even know if I was considered an admin to this
Right.
person. So we worked at an office location in a city, and we had to park very far away. I'm
Okay.
talking like 6, 7 blocks.
Okay.
Conveniently, always this person was running late in the dead ass of winter, cold, windy, and if you've ever been in our city, you know downtown is very windy.
Indianapolis, that
Yes.
is. Yeah.
And we were on the second floor of this office building, and I will never forget, I was in there recruiting a new employee, trying to onboard them, go through like Slack channels. This is what we use this for. This is, these are like the rules of engagement. This is where you can find this stuff. And I hear, and my phone keeps ringing, and it's my leader. And I'm like, they know that I'm in this onboarding with this new person and how critical this is. Like, the world must be on fire.
Yeah.
I shortly hear a continuous honk, 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 honk. I mean, and they are just blowing their horn, and I look out the window and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was literally my leader
Oh.
calling me again, honking their horn. So I finally excused myself and I'm like, hey, like, so sorry.
Yeah.
Can
They
I
must
step
have
out and
cut their
take
finger
this?
off or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
was like, they must have like 10,000 pounds of coke in their trunk, like, and they're gonna get
Yeah.
arrested. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, there's no other reason to be acting like this. So I answered the phone, and the leader was like, hey, I'm running late and I have a really important call and I need to be upstairs in the next 10 minutes and there's no way. Can you come down and go park my car?
Oh.
It was like 12 degrees outside,
Yeah.
and I had to walk. It took me 45 minutes to park this person's car,
Yeah. And
to
then,
walk back to the office, and here we are. We have this new employee sitting here,
yeah.
like, waiting for me to come back from parking someone's car, and I'm just like, I
And
will
I
never
would be
forget
so,
that.
yeah, I would have
Yeah,
been so mortified
yeah,
of like
yeah,
apologies.
yeah.
Um
I did ask myself, "How many curbs can I hit?"
Will they notice if the passenger mirror is
Yeah.
gone?
If the stop sign ended up through the window, like,
Right.
all these
Oh,
very evil thoughts,
yeah.
but it was like, I remember at that moment, and I think it was not long after that, I was like, "I literally cannot work for someone like this."
Yeah.
Like, it is so dismissive, and like you said, even the dinner, you are an extension of that person.
Yeah.
That should have been automatic in their mind of, she is part of the team,
Yeah.
you know, and if and it's the same with this leader. If you knew you had an important call, why are you cutting it that close that it's
Yeah.
my problem?
Right. Yeah.
It's just like, it's very dismissive.
Yeah.
So don't be that
No,
person.
and I will say, because of that situation,
Mhm.
I make it a point to always include the admin
Yeah.
should
Yep.
their person be leaving, whether
Yep.
it's a new job,
Yep.
retiring, like
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And whether that's the two of us sitting at the end of the table all by ourselves,
Yep.
because I don't care if it's awkward.
Yeah.
This person
Yes.
did everything for that leader, and if that leader is getting
Yep.
invited to a dinner or
Mhm.
whatever, I'm absolutely, the admin will be there with me
Yeah,
for
it should
sure.
it should be that way, I believe. So, just look out for each other, and again, if you guys have questions. Again, we're going to go into another episode how to read job descriptions, how to identify, is this really an executive assistant role?
Yeah.
Which to me, if they're offering $45,000, $50,000,
Yeah.
they're out of their damn mind.
Well,
And
yeah, and we can also tie it with the salary discussion of,
yes, the salary guide.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. It's been a great year. I feel like it's been a revolutionary year for executive assistants when it comes
Yes.
to, it's almost like a movement is going
Yeah, let's
on.
keep the momentum going.
Yeah,
We are important.
we
We
are.
are worthy.
Yep. Keep your voice.
That's
Like,
right.
speak up, speak out.
Do the damn thing.
Absolutely. Like, and be proud about it.
That's right.
People are like, where'd you go to college? I didn't go to college. I'm a damn EA. Like, and speaking of, we are going to have a guest on after the first of the
Yeah,
year.
so excited. Our first guest.
Yeah, she is a total badass and a huge advocate for the role, at least in Indianapolis. Her name is Mary Ryan. I'm sure many of you, she's been on Jeremy Burroughs' podcast. She's very well known. She's received multiple awards, but she has always been an advocate for this being a recognized career path.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to touch on when we speak to her. So, you guys stay tuned, listen to some old episodes if you need to catch up. But
yes, what the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah. I mean, our hairdresser this week, she even informed me, she's like, you guys are so hilarious. She's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's so funny.
Hey, you hear it here first.
Right.
That you don't need to be an admin to listen to the Biz-y Baddies.
That's right. So give it a listen. Click, like, and
subscribe,
share.
share.
Yes, because you never know. Somebody, maybe your husband has an executive assistant and he would find this podcast hilarious. So
yes,
I say share it amongst the world. That's how the word gets out. And it's such an undervalued, underappreciated. So if somebody in your life doesn't get it, send them a link to the podcast and let them listen to a few episodes.
Absolutely.
But thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Next week. Bye-bye. That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa
and Michelle, the Biz-y Baddies. Got it.